It's going to be a long night. Siddhant will do continue to stay on with us. Air Marshal Khosla, if I can bring you in. A lot of these attacks, what they would be considered tit for tat attacks. But in this case, quite clearly, it is Pakistan that is trying to create some new red lines that it is breaching. Now, yesterday they tried to strike about 15 targets. There were 15 odd places that the Pakistanis sought to target. They were all intercepted, the missiles which the Pakistanis had fired. But why is it that we are witnessing, something that we've probably not seen in Indian skies ever? Saturation drone attacks, a tactic that's been used in Russia-Ukraine between Israel and Hamas. But this is something new that India is confronting. What do you think is the Pakistani game plan here?
So as I said earlier, I'm not sure what is this game plan, and it's a very irrational behavior. And, fighting a war with borrowed money, whether it's public sentiments which are driving it, or whether it is foolishness which is driving it, or is it the ego which is driving it, or is it a totally irrational behavior to divert attention and give credibility to Pakistan Army back, which is losing because of a whole lot of issues of economic meltdown and the rising debts, as well as internal issues, as well as external problems, to divert attention from that, to get credibility to army again. I don't know what is the driving factor, but it seems that they're taking the wrong path and they're going up the escalatory ladders. So it's very unfortunate. Both the countries will suffer, and common man will suffer, both sides. Right. But I think India will be better prepared to absorb the losses and damages as compared to Pakistan.
Absolutely. But looking at how things are unfolding, because this is not going to end here. There will be a reprisal from the Indian side, considering that there has been a saturation drone attack. In your assessment, how would the Indian side respond here? Because there needs to be a response for what Pakistan has now done.
That's exactly, I told you earlier, I'm not in the decision-making chain, and the decision would be taken by the decision makers. As you brought out in your own news, that the Defense Minister is consulting the three army chiefs as well as Chief of Defense Staff, and they'll be briefing Prime Minister, consulting, and they will take a decision on what next. And right. Yeah.
Absolutely. Indeed. Do continue to stay on with this, Air Marshal Khosla. Siddhant, if I can bring you in here. The images that we've witnessed in the last 1 hour or so, right, we seem to have lost the line with my colleague Siddhant. We'll try to reconnect with him in just a bit. But this is in many ways unprecedented. Saturation drone attacks that have been witnessed over Jammu and in different other places. This complete blackout that's been reported in places such as Chandigarh, Mohali, and also in places in Rajasthan as well. Sirens have been sounded. It's not very clear as to what Pakistan is seeking to accomplish, but carrying out an attack of this nature. Jammu city, Baramulla, Udhampur have all gone completely dark. This is new territory for a lot of people in India. The last time there were blackouts of this nature, one has to go back to as far back as 1971. How many people were born at that time? Because this is new ground. It's over 5 decades that we have not witnessed something on these lines. But this is almost bizarre. As we were talking to Air Marshal Khosla, as he said, this is irrational behavior on the part of the Pakistani military establishment, because what is being sought to be achieved? Because on the one hand, the Pakistani political establishment says that it does not want an all-out war with India, but on the other, what we are witnessing is quite clearly a large-scale escalation of sorts, and there is going to be a reprisal and a retaliation for this. But this is where it all boils down to. What is Pakistan trying to achieve? Is it looking for a war with India? What is the objective? Is it trying to satisfy its domestic audiences? It is still not clear. Or is this the Pakistani military just showing off that it is still relevant for the people within Pakistan, because Pakistan has been dragged into a war with India? These are saturation drone attacks. This is a tactic that has never been witnessed over the Indian skies before. This is unprecedented. Warfare has completely changed in the last 10 years. And what we are witnessing is the very latest form of warfare that's now come over the Indian skies. And according to reports that have come in, all of the drones and missiles that were reportedly fired from the Pakistani side have all been taken down. And remember, a vast majority of the weaponry that Pakistan is using at this moment has all been given to the Pakistanis from the Chinese side. And what is interesting is this: the Chinese haven't fought a real war since 1978, when they fought in Vietnam. A lot of the military experts would in fact turn around and say that China is giving its weapons to Pakistan to try get some real combat experience to see as to how the Chinese weapons would perform against some of their Western weapons that India, of course, is using. India predominantly uses Russian, American, French, and now to a certain extent the Israeli weapons as well. This is going to be a head-on contest between these Western weapons that India uses and a lot of the Chinese military hardware that Pakistan is now bringing to the battlefield. We need to wait and watch. It's going to be a long, long night. There's a complete blackout in cities such as Jammu, Mohali, Chandigarh, etc. And my colleague Idris Lone, who's been tracking the developments very, very closely for us from Srinagar, is joining us over the phone line. Idris, over to you. Give us a sense of what the situation is like at this moment in Srinagar. What's happening there?
Well, Saleh, in Srinagar right now, a complete blackout. I live personally very close to the airport. The whole of the airport has been put on alert. We're being told to sit inside our houses with complete blackout. There is no electricity, but we are not even allowed to use any inverter batteries or any lighting items at the moment. This is the whole Srinagar under blackout as well. We are also hearing the same stories from different districts close to the line of control, especially in Baramulla, in Kupwara, as well as in different areas of Bandipora district as well. There's a complete blackout in Leh. There's blackout in Jammu, Aknoor, Sambha, all the areas which could have possibly come under attack from the Pakistani side. We've seen continuous ceasefire violation on the line of control at various places, which includes the northern part of Kashmir in Kupwara, Baramulla, Uri, while as in the Jammu division as well, in Aknoor, Sambha, and Poonch. Everywhere security on high alert and Indian armed forces giving a befitting reply. But what we saw just a while ago in Jammu, multiple drone attacks on different security installations. After that, we saw how all of them were thwarted, foiled by the Indian security system. And then we've seen these ceasefire violations being carried out by Pakistan Army, escalating, especially all across the northern part of Kashmir. Now, the government has advised people all over Srinagar as well as in Jammu that people should stay inside their houses. They should not venture out, and there should be a complete blackout till the authorities basically give a go-ahead that we can put on our lights. In Srinagar right now, very close to the airport, complete silence, pitch dark, no one out, adhering to the orders that the government has just given. But there is a lot of tension also, Saleh. There's a lot of tension among people because what we've seen on our phones, on our screens, is happening in Jammu, which created a lot of panic among the people there. Similar situation now in Srinagar. There's pitch dark and people in panic mode.
Absolutely, indeed. Idris Lone, do continue to stay on with us. Meanwhile, the latest that has come in from the headquarters of Integrated Defence Staff is that the things have been brought completely under control and all threats that emanated from Pakistan reportedly have all been neutralized. Both kinetic and non-kinetic means have been deployed. Places such as Jammu, Pathankot and Udhampur along the international boundary in Jammu Kashmir had been targeted by Pakistan using missiles and drones. There are no losses and all threat has been neutralized is the latest that we are getting. At this moment, it is still a developing story, Idris, but give us a sense, in terms of what you're picking up from your sources. Pakistan, by carrying out these large-scale saturation drone attacks, what's the scene with respect to the artillery shelling that it has been carrying out along the border between India and Pakistan? has it again heightened its artillery shelling along the border this evening?
Well, yes, Saleh, that's exactly how Pakistan carried out today's drone attacks as well. At the time when the drone attack was taking place in Jammu, there was ceasefire violations at 4 places across the line of control in Jammu as well as in the Kashmir division. It seemed like it was pre-planned. They wanted to engage the Indian security forces at multiple places at the same time, and that is why we also saw, not only in Jammu and Kashmir, but other parts of India as well, these drones were sighted. In Jammu, there were multiple blasts. Some locals even saying that there were more than 30 to 40 blasts that they heard in the air, and there was a lot of panic because of those blasts. There was a complete blackout in Jammu after that, and it still continues. People definitely were in a lot of panic mood, but they were told to shift to the ground floors of their houses and be safe and not venture out. Especially, there should be no vehicular movement, but the security presence on the ground was increased. Similarly, in Kashmir, all across Kashmir division, not only in Srinagar but in different districts like Baramulla, Kupwara, and in South Kashmir's Anantnag, Pulwama, Shupian as well. There is news coming in of complete blackout. There's no electricity in Srinagar at the moment. I live very close to the airport and there's no electricity right now, but we've been told not to use our inverters also at the moment. So complete pitch dark right now all across Srinagar. A lot of panic and a lot of fear among the civilian population, but security out on the streets. The number of police, paramilitary forces on the ground have been increased, but there's a lot of panic, Saleh, all over Jammu and Kashmir, and I'm sure the similar case with places where there is blackout right now, whether it's Punjab, whether it's Ladakh and other parts of the country.
Idris, you get us all the developments from Srinagar there. Considering the fact that India and Pakistan share their border between Jammu and Kashmir, there have been repeated ceasefire violations and heavy artillery shelling that Pakistan carries out from time to time. But how is it different this time round? In the past, were people along the border areas told to shut off all their lights, no traffic, no vehicular movement, and no lighting off of their emergency lights as well? Or is this somehow in many ways unprecedented because the seriousness of what Pakistan has resorted to since yesterday night?
Well, absolutely. It's completely different than what we have witnessed in the last at least 2 decades. There have been ceasefire violations from the Pakistani side earlier also, especially before 2021, when the agreement was renewed between India and Pakistan of the ceasefire. After that, we did see peace on the line of control for a long, long time. But before that, there have been massive ceasefire violations as well, whether it was Jammu's international border or line of control or northern part of Kashmir. But from after the Pahalgam attack, Saleh, we've seen for 12 consecutive nights, Pakistan was breaking ceasefire at least half a dozen places across the line of control and international border. But from the last 2 days after India carried out the attack on those targets, terror camps, across the border in Pakistan as well as in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. After that, we've seen the first reaction of the Pakistani army was to break ceasefire, but not with small arms, but shift from small arms to massive heavy artillery. And not only did they start targeting the military installations across the line of control of the Indian Armed Forces, but the civilian population was targeted as well. We saw in Poonch, 16 people were killed, 15 of them were civilians. Around 60 people have been injured all across the line of control in northern part of Kashmir as well as in the Jammu division. So there has been massive escalation from the Pakistani side, which is being retaliated by the Indian Armed Forces. But what we are seeing now from Pakistani army, these drone attacks, not only at one location, but multiple locations at the same time, along with the ceasefire violation at the same time as well.
Right.
That is something we've not seen in the past.